Has a self-induced immigration crisis on the U.S. southern border caused you concern? Is there no way out of this nightmare? Hi, I'm Rex Rogers, and this is episode number 128 of Discerning What Is Best, a podcast applying unchanging biblical principles in a rapidly changing world and a Christian worldview to current issues and everyday life. With the invasion taking place on the U.S. southern border, I feel I must circle back and discuss immigration. I referenced immigration in a podcast last year, June 2023, in which I noted that 16.8 million illegal aliens reside in the U.S. The number is now over 18 million. This is the direct result of President Joe Biden's actions, literally since his first day in office, January 21, 2021, when he signed several proclamations and executive orders either rescinding Trump administration immigration policies, for example, stopping the building of a border wall, or instituting new, wide-open policies of his own. There have been more than 10 million illegal entries since President Biden took office, a number larger than the individual populations of 41 of the 50 states. Each night, Americans see video clips of thousands of foreign nationals crossing the border en masse with complete impunity, as if the entire corpus of federal immigration law has been dynamited. The Federation for American Immigration Reform published a comprehensive report last year showing that federal, state, and local expenditures for illegal immigration are approaching $200 billion annually. Who but our own progeny is going to pay the bill for Mr. Biden's irresponsibility? And what will happen if they cannot pay the bill? Whatever the cause of this nihilism, scholar Victor Davis Hanson lists several ways an open border is insidiously destroying the United States. Immigration. Does legal immigration still exist? Are we still requiring those who would enter the United States legally to provide required documents, undergo audits, and complete background checks? Is not the current policy de facto punishing those who follow the law by tying them up in bureaucratic red tape for years as we reward unlawful behavior by green-lighting amnesties for lawbreakers? A lawless U.S. Does the utter lawlessness at the border contribute to the general coarseness and current mockery of the rule of law in general? An epidemic that plagues our cities with homelessness, smash and grabs, carjackings, and random assaults. Dependency. If the first thing a foreign national does is to violate the law by crossing the border without permission, and the second is to reside illegally in the United States, and the third is to apply for some sort of food, housing, medical, legal, or educational subsidy, then is that really the type of new resident we desire? Hansen also lists a broken relationship with Mexico, danger from drug cartels, the destruction of the idea of citizenship, enormous budget cost implications, ending the idea of deterrence of wrongdoing, and increase in racism. We really have no clue what this massive number of illegals will mean for our country and culture's future. We do not have sufficient affordable housing for our own citizens. Veterans and the elderly have been forced out of housing to make way for illegal immigrants. Our own homeless population is exploding, many of whom need treatment for addiction or some mental illness. In Chicago, migrants have been living in the O'Hare Airport. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey has asked citizens to take migrants into their homes. Just this week, a New York City high school was closed, and its students were sent home for, quote, remote learning, so that nearly 2,000 immigrants, that is, illegals, could be housed at the school during a winter storm. Illegal immigrants also distort congressional representation. Open borders facilitate human trafficking, including child sex trafficking. Illegal immigration also burdens our criminal justice system. Interestingly, many European articles are now replacing the word immigrant with the term cultural enricher, usually ironically or sarcastically. It refers to invasion or general violence caused by people of different cultures. The phrase has roots in Germany in World War I and was used by Hitler derogatorily to refer to Jews. The so-called cultural enrichers have been admitted en masse to European countries under the false philosophy of multiculturalism, along with the equally ill-advised ideas captured in the DEI acronym, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. These cultural enrichers in Europe are now acting out violently, making economic and religious demands, daily disturbing public events, and harassing local citizenry. Now, please understand, in making these observations or raising questions about immigration, I am not preaching bigotry or prejudice, nor am I against legal immigration. Actually, I've always been a proponent and can point to stellar examples of legal immigration that have brought wonderful, decent, hardworking, creative people to the American society. But what we have today is neither legal nor immigrants per se. What we have is illegal invasion, fake refugees, cultural enrichers bent not on assimilating or becoming Americans, but bent on demands, dissension, demonstrations, and destruction of America and its defining ideals. Too many illegals are coming across our open borders, as they have in Europe, with entitlement mentalities or political disruption on their minds. Week after week, videos of cultural enrichers, not always just young men, but also young women, attacking vulnerable people without provocation in the streets, harassing retail store clerks, then stealing whatever they want, defying police, blocking traffic, praying in the middle of public thoroughfares, even though there are many mosques available in their city, going door to door asking not for a job, but for money, desecrating monuments or other public sculpture. The list is endless. We could fix our problems in the U.S., of course. It's not rocket science, as they say. It's politicians on the left cynically opening America's borders in order to intentionally change the political culture in a way they believe will reinforce their power. And it is politicians on the right who do not seem to have the political will to do anything about this. Now, what should be done? Well, that's easy. Number one, close the borders to all would-be immigrants until immigration policy and procedures can be reinvigorated for security, order, and fairness. Number two, enforce legal immigration policy presently in place. Number three, reform U.S. immigration policy, something this country has done periodically under Teddy Roosevelt and under Ronald Reagan, for example, so that it reinforces legal due process. Number four, vet would-be immigrants to identify who they are, who really does require and deserve asylum, who will bring new talents and skills, who want to assimilate by learning English and contributing to the American culture and economy. It was T.R. in 1907 who said, "In the first place, we should insist that if the immigrant who comes here in good faith becomes an American and assimilates himself to us, he shall be treated on an exact equality with everyone else. For it is an outrage to discriminate against any such man because of creed or birthplace or origin. But this is predicated upon the person's becoming in every facet an American, and nothing but an American. There can be no divided allegiance here. Any man who says he is an American, but something else also, isn't an American at all. We have room for but one flag, the American flag. We have room for but one language here, and that is the English language. And we have room for but one sole loyalty, and that is loyalty to the American people. There need be no animus in any of this. All these improvements in U.S. legal immigration policy can be enacted with compassion for those who truly need asylum, and with preservation of the opportunity to immigrate for those who wish to assimilate and contribute to the American society. Without this kind of concerted effort, I truly fear for the future of America. Well, we'll see you again soon. This podcast is about discerning what is best. If you find this thought-provoking and helpful, follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Download an episode for your friends. And for more Christian commentary, check my website, REXM as in Martin. That's rexmrogers.com. And remember, it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm.